Well, hello. Now, this is a change, isn't it? Me starting, I'm like all important, aren't I? So, who am I? Oh, yes, Mama Jane.
Yeah,
and this is my
Mum.
husband. Mama Jane's husband. Hello.
Hello.
Off we go.
Mama Jane is very important, by the way. Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah. So what are we doing today, Mama Jane?
We're talking about Kirkwall. That's where we went. We went on a shuttle bus from the ship, which is the Aurora, which is what we're sat wobbling around on now. It's extremely, extremely wobbly, and yeah, so that's, but it wasn't wobbly on that day. And we got on a nice shuttle bus organised by the council, free, and it's like a bendy bus, you know, the bendy bus things with the concertina in middle. It's one of them. Anyway, we drove it to about 10 minutes to get into Kirkwall, not long.
And we were greeted by staff
Yeah.
as we got off, who directed us, gave us a map and explained where things were and how to get to them. And we headed off for the cathedral, St. Magnus Cathedral, and which dates to Viking times, I think, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And on the way, we happened across a cafe, which is directly opposite the cathedral. Dead convenient. And
dead nice.
and yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? We had a lovely couple of sandwiches there. I had a lager, which you chose for me, didn't you,
I
Mama
did.
Jane? And she made a very good selection, I have to say.
Yeah. I
and-
always go for the title. What looks
Yeah.
like a nice name.
Because it was called Blonde, weren't it? Yeah. And she knows I like blondes, you see. So, so anyway, I had this blonde ale that was brewed on Orkney, and it was very nice.
And the shop is, the cafe is, it's a huge place, and it's like a big gift shop and, you know, general products of Orkney. And plus this big cafe, but very, very nice.
It's called the Julie Glue's Cafe.
Yeah.
And she also sells a lot of stuff by her sister.
We're presuming it's a sister.
Could be a sister.
Jane Glue.
Jane Glue, who's an artist. Yeah. All I'd say is watch out for the jumpers. They do some very, very
Beautiful.
nice, beautiful jumpers, but they're also very expensive as well.
Not considering the work that has gone into these jumpers.
£155
£159.50.
is always an expensive jumper.
They are pure wool. They are beautiful patterns, coloured patterns, and fairer, that's the word I'm looking for. And
Bit like the price.
they are lovely, and they will, but with my history of washing disasters, possibly
With
not
wool
a good,
garments.
wool garments, not a good idea.
No. Anyway, we went there and we had a nice snackette, and then we wandered across to said cathedral, and we had a nice wander around there. Very nice cathedral. You liked it, didn't you?
I did like it because it was kind of a bit rusticy inside. It weren't all blingy and posh, and you know, it looked like well worn and well used.
Yeah, and we, it seemed like a proper
Church.
yeah, as well as a cathedral, and we liked it. Some beautiful windows. Had a really nice altar there, and I liked that. And he had a memorial to the person who discovered the Northwest Passage. And I'm trying to. Then we had we came out of the cathedral, and we were running a bit short of time at this point. So we had a quick look at the Earl's Palace. We had a quick look at what is the Earl's Palace and the Bishop's Palace. And then we had a wander into Kirkwall itself, down the main aisle. long street, isn't it? And you went in lots of shops, and I managed to restrain your spending a bit.
But we went in a fabulous, they've got a little craft fair going, only little, there were perhaps 10 stalls, it was lovely. And that's where we bought some nice knitted things.
We did.
And yeah, it was lovely, and it was nice to be able to support local people.
They were local craftsmen,
yes,
but they were also fairly clued up that, and I think they always have this craft fair when there's a ship in town, which is very, very sensible.
Yes.
And they did have some nice things, I have to say.
Yeah, and not expensive.
Yeah.
I think they're also working on the theory that better to sell plenty of things at a reasonable price than none at all. And they were local.
Now, if you really do want to be parted by lots of your money, there's plenty of shops in Kirkwall, I think, that will do that for you.
Yeah.
But you know, that's in town. There was an Ortac shop there, jewelers, which is not cheap. But we did also come across an ice cream shop, didn't we? Which sold some very nice ice cream. So we had a wander. Kirkwall's a lovely place, actually.
Yeah, it is a nice
We really
place.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We wandered down to the harbour. Now the harbour, it's a jobbing harbour.
Yeah.
It's a working harbour, and it's a busy harbour, and it's definitely not a tourist harbour. So it's just a harbour.
And good place to sit and eat ice cream.
Yeah, which you did, didn't
I
you? And then we made our way back to the shuttle bus, didn't we? Walking through the rest of Kirkwall, which we liked. And we missed out on St Magnus's centre. We didn't get around that. And there are a couple of distilleries which I'd have liked to have managed to get to. There's Scapa Distillery, which is obviously on Scapa Flow. And then there's the Orkney distillery itself.
But we just didn't have time.
Park Highland, I think it's called.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah. And we moseyed on back to the ship on the shuttle, and then we waited until we left. And actually, the weather was against us for the sail away. And in fact, I didn't get some of the footage I wanted to, because, to be perfectly honest, the wind was so strong, I couldn't hold the camera. It was well, I did manage to hold the camera, but it was wobbling around like that. So the footage is utterly useless. Now, I did get some pictures as we left. They're not the greatest, but it's a nice sail away. And as you do sail away, you pass quite a lot of islands. So it's worth being up on the top deck, or being able to, look out, have a good view when you leave the harbour, Kirkwall, because it's quite a nice sail away and most enjoyable. So that was it. A good start to the cruise visits, I thought, and we had a really good visit, weren't it? Yeah. And it put us in touch with our ancestors. You'll have to watch part 1 of our video to see that. And we set off on our way to Iceland. So, you got anything else to add there, Mama Jane?
No, not at all. No.
That's all right then. So it's a goodbye from
me,
and it's a goodbye
from my husband.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.